Sup nerds, I'm Aaron.
I'm Wes.
And I'm Tom.
We're at Everboard Gaming, and today we're taking a look at Railways of Portugal, the next expansion for Railways of the World by Eagle Gryphon Games.
So as you can probably tell, this is absolutely a prototype. This game's coming to Kickstarter, so everything you see here is definitely not production quality, but the gameplay is still essentially the same, and that's what we're talking about.
So if you haven't seen our thoughts on the base game for Railways of the World, we do have a video for that up on our YouTube channel, but just spoiler alert, I absolutely love Railways of the World. It's my number one, my favorite train game ever. And you're wondering, is Ticket to Ride on that list? No, it's not. So it's a good list.
And I will say with that review, my thought, I was pretty cool towards it, I think, in the review. I've actually warmed up to it a little bit, especially because of this map. This is definitely my favorite map that I've played of this game.
This map will support 2 to 4 players, so if you usually play Railways with 5 players, you won't be able to play this map with them. Just keep that in mind. But this is a very good map for 3 and 4 players. It's very tight-knit. There's a lot of, crossing over and, really interacting with each other because it's so tight.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of blocking each other. And I know if you have this edition of Railways of the World, they had Railways of Mexico in there to try and, because this game was based for like 5 or 6 players, they included that map for a smaller number of players. This, I definitely think, is way better than the Mexico map because they actually add a couple new, really cool things.
And it is, we keep saying it's cutthroat, it is so tight. Like, you're blocking each other on accident just because, like, we're not even going for the same thing. It's just we're blocking each other because things are so close together, so tight, and there's so many places that just have, like, 1 or 2 or 2 or 3 little spokes coming off of them. So it gets really cutthroat.
So the new things that were added were the maritime connections, where there's 2 islands kind of that are just like floating out there that we can all connect to, and there's 2 other spots that just like kind of zip across the map and like make a shortcut that one person can connect. And those, they're just $6,000. You make that connection, and now you can deliver from these 2 main islands or go through that new like route that you founded.
And they also have Lisboa as a really like central area, so much so that they even have a rule there that you can't connect more than one area. You cannot connect to Lisboa more than one time per turn for you. Like, I can't go and make this connection to Lisboa and then this connection because it's so important on the map.
Yeah, if you get cut out of Lisboa, you're pretty much screwed in this game. So that needs, like, if you see everyone going for Lisboa, not completely screwed.
Yeah, I didn't get to Lisboa until really later. I dominated up here.
But you did a lot in Lisboa. Like,
I did
even if you got there
use
later,
Lisboa
you delivered a ton of stuff to Lisboa.
With those 2 islands, there's a new rule where the very last thing you do is you actually add 2 more cubes to the board. So one's getting added to each island, and that just gives you guys more and more to deliver, where like those 2 islands won't like dry up as quick. You're not going to have to put out the
empty city markers.
Yeah, I was like EMC or something. Yeah. You won't have to put out one of those markers as quickly on those because everybody's going to be vying for them because they're just a nice, easy. There's a lot of cubes on them at the beginning, and you can just kind of. They're constantly getting cubes, so if nobody's delivering the first couple rounds, there's going to be a lot of cubes on them, and then you're like, oh, well, I need to build there, and nobody can block you from connecting, from that port to, like, from Aquis to Lisboa and Madrid to
Madeira.
Segri. I'm just
Why
bad
are you
at
letting you
pronouncing-
speak Spanish?
No.
It's Portuguese.
Obviously.
And the last thing they added, I'm pretty sure they added, I haven't played all the Railways of the World maps, but in some of the major line connections you make here, they're like pit stops along the way. So it's like connect Faro to Porto via Leiria. So you have to go through Leiria on that connection, which means not only can you block out those 2 cities, but if you block out the center city in that, they're still screwed. So if I see Aaron coming this way, and I'm like, haha, I'm just going to block this one up. And now you've wasted all that time. Hey nerds, so one of the fun things about doing Kickstarter videos is we're working with prototypes, so sometimes the rules change after we've actually played the game. So after we posted a picture of this game, Vital Lacerda actually reached out to us to let us know a few changes that he noticed from the picture we took. So when we were playing the game, we didn't use any black cubes because there's no black cities on the map. That's how we were originally told to play it. However, In this version, there will be black cubes added to the map, even though there are no black cities. So that's going to cause a lot more urbanization to happen, because realistically, you could play entire games with zero urbanization. So a couple of changes with that. So one, to urbanize cities into black cities, it's only going to cost you 5,000 instead of 10,000, which is going to make it a lot easier to urbanize. Two, once the third gray city becomes empty, it will automatically become a black city, so you'll automatically have a black city on the map somewhere. Once that happens, the two islands will also stop receiving cubes every single round, so you're not just going to have an overflow of cubes in those two spots. That might be a little overpowered. Anyway, back to the preview video.
So as they've done with every expansion, they added new railway operation cards to connect to the different towns and the different cities. I had that Hotel Lisboa, which allowed you, every time a cube was delivered there, I would get a point for that on the income track, so that's really cool. They did add some new ones that had to deal with the maritime ones too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, incentivizing you to actually use the maritime, the new mechanic that they added here. So obviously we love Railways of the World. It's a fantastic game, but if you have been shying away from Railways because of the player count, or also the table space too, like this is so great for this number of players, because I have to take this box to a special place to be able to play the big map. But this one is so compact, it's so tight, it's so well designed. Vital Lacerda, obviously. I really love the new mechanics. I highly recommend that you back this game.
It also plays relatively quickly in comparison.
Yeah, a lot quicker in comparison.
Like it's still a full game. It's not like a this is Railways of the World filler game, but
yeah, it's not the roll and write edition.
So if all of that sounds like something that you want to add to your copy of Railways of the World, we definitely recommend that you back this Kickstarter campaign by either clicking the link in the description box down below or the card that pops up.
Or if you're already on Kickstarter, scroll back up to the top and click back now. Either way, subscribe to our channel so you'll never be bored. All aboard the Neverboard train! It's just like an interesting little extra thing they added with adding those two
maritime.
Aaron
is so drunk.